What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's discuss AEW Dynamite Big Business from March the 13th, 2024. A pretty okay show. So, it's official. Mercedes Mone, formerly known as Sasha Banks, is now officially All Elite. We've known this for months, and it's okay. Do I think she'll change the women's division in AEW? No. Why? Because Tony Khan is still in charge of the booking, and Tony Khan constantly fucks things up. So why would this be any different? He's already fumbled the ball with every major former WWE signing. He's fumbled the bag, and it's too many to name. So Mercedes is going to be no different. So we kick the show off with Mercedes Moné. And so Mercedes comes out. She chants a CEO. I think it's like piped in CEO stuff. But the crowd does give her a really solid reaction. So she declares that she's home. The crowd chants "Welcome home." So Mercedes says that her heart is beating out of her chest. She thanks the fans for having her back. For the past 2 years. For giving her the strength and the courage to be here and sticking up with her through her highs and all her lows and her highs and all the moments. Mercedes says they're going to be making so much magic in so many moments together. Each one of these fans is the reason why Mercedes is here. She thanks the crowd again. She says if they only knew how much tonight meant to her, because all that wrestling has given her. People like Eddie Guerrero gave her something to believe in. So Mercedes, she continues to talk about the women's revolution in the industry and getting to the main event of the first ever women's main event of a pay-per-view in this very building. That was against Bianca Belair. So Mercedes talks about taking care of her brother Joshua and the struggle to chase her dreams, heading to chaotic wrestling to pursue a dream of becoming the greatest female wrestler of all time. If she can chase her dream, so can you. So let's get to business. Mercedes says she's here in AEW because she needs to be here. Because AEW is the only place where the revolution can become global. She can't wait to tear it up with the women on the roster before talking about the next main event, which is going to be Riho versus Willow Nightingale. Mercedes talks about having unfinished business with Willow. And she then says that she's All Elite. So this is fine. Her promo really meant nothing. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just a promo. Again, Mercedes being in AEW doesn't really mean anything. She's already stated facts that she's going to go back to WWE. I don't think she's going to be signed with AEW no more than about, I want to say, 2 to 3 years. So she'll probably stick around for 3 years. I doubt if Tony Khan is going to sign her for 5 years. I think that's way too long. This isn't a record deal. This isn't a record label. It doesn't make any sense. But Tony Khan's a fucking mark. So, that's what it is. Again, I'll wait and see what happens. We have to wait and see. But, she's there, and, it's fine. Like, the tribalist bullshit is just that. Tribalist bullshit. So, it is what it is. Moving on. So, we go backstage to Renee Paquette. She talks to Samoa Joe about defending his AEW World Heavyweight Championship against Wardlow. Samoa Joe says he hasn't forgotten what happened the last time they got into that ring, promising to regain his title. Samoa Joe doesn't lose titles in the Garden. So then, we get a literal story time with Adam Cole. He's wearing a nice suit or whatever. He's got a book in his hand, he's reading it. He talks about the rise of Wardlow ahead of his challenge for the AEW Championship. So then this leads, which is fine. Then this leads us to our first match of the night, which was stupid because this should have really been the main event of the show. I don't know why Riho and Willow Nightingale main evented, but who the fuck knows? But it is what it is, and who really cares? So, Samoa Joe versus Wardlow, which is the first match of the night for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Samoa Joe taps out Wardlow. No interference from the Undisputed Kingdom. No double count out. No double DQ. No, none of that. It was just a straight, clean finish. No distraction win. Just a straight finish. And I'm just like, damn. Wardlow is fucking done. Wardlow needs to go straight to TNA or WWE. This man has officially been buried, and Tony Khan doesn't give a single fuck about Wardlow. I don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss for words. I know Wardlow is counting down the days that he can get away from AEW. Not just him, Ricky Starks and so many others. So, I don't know, guys. I just don't know. So, post-match, Swerve comes out to the ring. Before he can get his hands on Joe, Samoa Joe dips out. So, this is fine. So, we're heading towards Swerve and Joe at AEW Dynasty. But that's really where Wardlow and Samoa Joe show taking place. Which I don't understand why Tony Khan even gave us that match. You really should have just waited for a month. But Tony Khan doesn't give a shit. So, moving on. So Alex Marvez, he's backstage. He tries to ask Okada why he is affiliated with the Elite. But Nicholas tells him to use the Rainmaker's full name before Matthew talks up a big deal about how it is to be elite. Okada keeps things simple by giving Pac, Penta, and Eddie Kingston a warning ahead of their trios match. Okada tells Marvez to sing Matthew happy birthday. No, to sing happy birthday. And then so Alex Marvez starts to sing, which is fine. So this is okay. This is pretty good. So Okada's starting to show some personality. That's great. That's good. Good stuff. Moving on. So this leads us into the Trios tag match. The Elite. They defeated Pac, Eddie Kingston, and Penta. So, which is fine. So Okada defeated Eddie Kingston, and then next week it's going to be Okada and Eddie Kingston for the Continental Classic. I mean, my bad, the Continental Championship. So we all know Okada's going to win that, and it seems like Tony Khan's trying to have AEW basically end the month of March on a strong note. So I guess who gives a shit though? Eddie Kingston, once he loses, he's probably gonna go back into that low mid card. He's gonna either be on Rampage or Collision going forward after he loses to Okada. I guarantee you. And he actually kind of needs to do that anyway, if we're being honest. I mean, I like Eddie Kingston from a promo perspective, but man, my God, are his matches so boring. I mean, where did he get this Japan style from? This boring all Japan style. I just don't get it, man. I really don't get it. I don't. Like, I thought he was supposed to be like a brawler. I don't know. Moving on, so we get a video package involving Edge, aka Adam Copeland, and Christian Cage ahead of their I Quit match, which is fine. But again, why couldn't Christian Cage and Edge have their match at AEW Dynasty instead of trying to pop a TV rating? Again, Tony Khan continues to fuck shit up. Week in, week out. Moving on. So, Tony Schiavone, he welcomes Will Ospreay to the ring. Will Ospreay comes out to a massive pop. Ospreay said that he wanted to talk about the beautiful people of Boston, about hyping up about how important this match is at Dynasty against him and Bryan Danielson. He wanted to emulate Bryan Danielson, and he appreciates that the American Dragon is a fan of his work. Will Ospreay had a chat with Bryan Danielson after his match against Kenny Omega, which everyone talked about the Tiger Driver 91, and Danielson asked Will Ospreay if it was worth it. Will Ospreay replied at the same time and said it was. Will Ospreay respects Danielson, but this match means a lot more to him and the people cheering him on. Since he's arrived in AEW, there's been a phrase following him, restore the feeling, and Ospreay says that he is the feeling. With everything this match means, when they step into the ring of Dynasty, it's Bryan Danielson's life or Will's, and Will Ospreay doesn't plan on dying, bruv. This is about proving who's the best in this business, and Will Ospreay plans to prove himself because he is Will Ospreay, and he's on another level. So this was great. I thought it was a really good, solid promo. I'm definitely down for it. But the bad to this is that Bryan Danielson is a loser. It'd be different if Bryan Danielson won like most of his matches and stuff, but he hasn't. He's been losing to Eddie Kingston for months. He's been beating nobodies on Collision and Rampage and stuff like that. But when it comes on pay-per-view for AEW, he hasn't done jack shit. So again, I'm fine with this. I'm down for this, but I mean, what does it all mean? You know, I want to be the best. No, you're the best. I want to be the best. It's like, nah, can we not do this shit? But this was a really good promo from Will. And then after Will Ospreay beats Danielson, what's next for Will Ospreay? Like, does Tony Khan? Is Tony Khan gonna have him be the one to dethrone Samoa Joe? Well, no, that'll probably go to. I want to say that'll probably go to Swerve. Swerve is gonna be the one to dethrone Samoa Joe. Because I don't think MJF will be back until probably Double or Nothing. Or he could show up at Dynasty. So, I don't know. Moving on. So, Deonna Purrazzo, she's backstage talking about the numbers game. Toni Storm and Mariah May look to play. So, she's going to have a tag match against them next week. They better be on the lookout for the shoe. They better look out for the shoe, as Deonna Purrazzo describes, where she's going to send it up to Toni Storm's ass. So, this is fun, but Deonna Purrazzo, how the mighty have fallen. She's been there for a month, and I don't know what to say. She's been there a month, don't know what to say. Moving on. Jay White versus Darby Allin. Jay White defeats Darby Allin via the Blade Runner. And then post-match, Bullet Club Gold, they briefly celebrate. So Jay's about to extend his hand to Darby. He does the gun symbol. And they beat down Darby Allin. He tells the Guns to grab a steel chair, which they do. They try to take out Darby, but the Acclaim make the save. Then the six of them stare each other down, and then out of nowhere, Jay White strikes Billy Gunn with a steel chair, and then they beat down the Acclaim. And then Darby is beaten down by Bullet Club Gold, and they shatter his ankle with the steel chair. Again, why did we need this angle? We didn't need to have an angle involving Darby. We've known for a while now that Darby was going to climb Mount Everest. So why the fuck did he need a write-off angle? It didn't call for it. We've been knew about this. He's mentioned this for quite some time now. So, again, this was a waste of time. And it seems like they may do a 6-man tag for the Trios Championships, AEW versus the Ring of Honor, and then, I don't know. I'm not really concerned about it. Like I say, poor Jay White, though. He's still not where he needs to be, but it's better than nothing. Moving on. So, Hook and Chris Jericho, they defeated the Gates of Agony. Bishop Khan and Tola Leona. Damn. What can I say? Man, the Gates of Agony, they need to be in TNA, man. They need to be in TNA like nobody's business. I think TNA would do them justice. Because those guys are legit. Moving on. So Kyle O'Reilly, he's backstage with Renee Paquette, talking about the changing of the landscape in AEW. So Kyle openly wondering if he can still hang with the best of them. Kyle then talks about Brian Keefe, a man who he's been keeping an eye on, looking forward to their match on Collision. Roderick Strong comes in and saying, if this is what Kyle wants to do, then he's down for it. He can do it on his own. And Kyle restates this, and then he walks off. Okay, that's fine, I guess. It is what it is. Kyle O'Reilly's single run, am I down for it? Not really. But okay. We'll see where it goes. Moving on. So Renee Paquette once again is backstage. She congratulates Hook and Chris Jericho on their win and asks if Hook has earned Jericho's respect. Jericho says he still needs to learn more. So then he challenges Hook to a match, and then Hook accepts, to which he just says, bet. So this is fine, I guess. Maybe Jericho will turn heel That's probably what they'll end up doing, because this Lionheart gimmick that he's been doing for a while, it's not working. It's really not working. And I think Jericho needs to take steps back. We need to see less and less of Jericho. Jericho needs to be as a special attraction guy, where we see him maybe out of a year, maybe about 5-6 times a year, and just where he shows up just for certain feuds, and then that's it. That's where Jericho needs to be. We don't need to see Jericho on a weekly basis. We just don't. Or if he's going to be there weekly, it needs to be like in a backstage producer role or writer or what have you. But we don't need to see him every single week. Hell no. Moving on. Main event of the evening. Riho versus Willow Nightingale. Willow Nightingale defeats Riho. Post-match, the lights go dim. They go black. Julia Hart and Sky Blue, they beat down Willow Nightingale and Riho until Mercedes comes down and makes the save. She fights off both Sky Blue and Julia Hart, and then she stares down Willow Nightingale. So I guess they're gonna have Mercedes and Julia Hart at some point. She's just going to be inserted into a mid-card feud to start off her AEW career. Not really digging that. I really would much rather see Mercedes and Toni Storm, but maybe they're working towards that. Maybe they're going to do that probably at, I would assume, Double or Nothing. I think that's fair. So that's fair to assume. I don't know, but Dynamite was okay. It was all right. It was all right. I mean, Mercedes is there. She got her big fanfare and stuff. People were uber excited. She hugged her mom, and I think her brother was there as well. She hugged them and a couple other people. Again, it's fine that she's there, but is it really going to matter in the end? Not really. Again, we're not going to be in Boston every single week. So, again, she'll probably be just another person on the roster. I'm going to give it probably 3 months, and what I just said will come true. She'll just be another person on the roster. She'll be just like Edge and Malachi Black and so many others. But it is what it is. What did you guys think? Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.